Chris.
Let's get back to LSU. I think that's what everybody wants to talk about. Everybody wants to hear us talk about what we saw. I told you a little bit about what I thought. What did you see? We watched the end of the game together since we were in the same vicinity of the game.
Yeah. I saw a.
When the sun went down?
Well, yeah.
I mean, I tried to stay away from
See,
that.
we were up in the level that they call the suite level.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
okay.
So we were enjoying our moment. We had some AC. We can come out, and then the sun went down, and he did his duty of being in the suite that he was supposed to be, and then he came to our suite, and then maybe gotten a job offer from our suite. Who knows?
Shit.
Who knows?
This might be the last episode of the show.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
No, dude. I saw a team that once again, I feel like you go game 1, game 2, game 3. It feels like they're still ascending. It feels like they're still getting better. It feels like they're still catching steam. Everyone complained about everything that you saw and how it went, and then you look at the end of the game and you were dogs coming in and you left the 2 touchdown winner, right? So to me, I sit there and I watch the game and I'm like, first, it reminds me a lot about what we saw in the Florida State game in the sense of we need to find a way to start quicker, right?
Yep.
And we talked about this thing before. I think there is something in there, and this is, if I had to guess, this is probably something, and I would understand it 2 to 3 games into the season where they're like, hey, we don't want to resort to this already,
Right, I get that, 100%,
but I think
agree.
they're starting to understand that we're not going to power the ball to start this game, so we're gonna have to tempo it to start it, open it up. Then we are able to be able to finesse it and start doing the things that they want to do.
I understand, and I agree 100% with you because I understand as a coach, hey, you know what? We're going to have this game plan, and this is what we want to run and how we want to run our offense to get everything else going. So we practice that. We're going to try to do that, right? Until we prove that we can't do that in this particular game, and then we're going to make the adjustments. In the past, you didn't see the adjustments.
Yeah.
It was, hey, we're going to keep banging our head against this same brick wall that's not budging, and we're just going
No, like you literally did not see the adjustments.
There's no adjustments.
They wouldn't have happened.
Hey, like, you're going to still see the toss dodge. You're still going to see the 1-2 receiver routes. Like, you're still going to see the same things that you saw over and over again, even though it was not working, right? What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same results? Like, I understand going in there with a game plan. This is the game plan we're going to use. But then it's not working. Okay, make the adjustment. They made the adjustments quicker this game than they did in the previous game. They did it towards the end of the second quarter when they scored the touchdown to end the half, as opposed to the end of the third quarter against Florida State, right? So obviously they said, okay, we need to pick up the sense of urgency earlier. They were in the 2-minute drill in the end of the first half. That probably helped. But it was nice to see the quick passing game.
Yeah.
It was nice to see once they did make the adjustment, get the ball out, get them in some tempo.
And look, I get it. Like when you amongst the community of what actual football is, it probably feels a little gimmicky, right? To be able to come out the beginning of a game doing it, right? But at this point, like you start to look at it and win games and you have chances to win games, you start to think of it like, all right, we can come out and do this. We can loosen this thing up, and just play with some tempo to start the game. And then maybe we'll be able to now start mixing in the run the way we want and need to.
And maybe there's a way to do a little mixture of both, right? Where it's not full 2-minute drill, super high tempo, let's go, that kind of sense of urgency.
Exactly what I mean. That's why I said tempo and not literally 2-minute drill.
Right. Maybe it's like, hey, we're going to go and we're going to start getting this quick passing game in early. Get the ball out of Daniels' hand early, quick. Let him have some short, easy throws. Build that confidence.
Yeah. Now where that may be above my pay grade is exactly how do you script out your first 10 or 15 like that. But that's why I'm not getting paid to do that. That's why I'm not up at 6 and going to bed at 9 or going home at 9 p.m. to do it. So that's what.
But then you see the end of the game. You see the end of the game.
Yeah, different things though.
Different strokes for different folks, baby. But then you saw towards the end of the game all of that tempo, all of the quick passing, the success. Hey, 4th and 4. Trusting yourself to throw a deep ball, a 50-50 ball, trusting yourself, but also knowing that if I throw this in a position, he's going to go up and get it on 4th and 4. That's, to me, growth. That's confidence. Go ahead.
I was just about to say, well, no, finish the thought because I'm going to say this out.
Now, the only other thing, there's things that you can critique. Was Jayden Daniels perfect? No. Was our team perfect? No.
I don't want him to be in game 3.
I don't want them to be in game 3, right? But I do want to see this.
Yeah.
And if you can go and you can win a team that was supposed to beat you, that was 2-0, that everybody was talking about being underrated and a real deal, a quarterback who may be one of the best in the SEC, and you go and you hold them to 289 yards of offense, win by 15, and still not play perfect, boys, we're in a good spot. A good spot. Now, as far as the quarterback goes, I think he's a winner. I think he makes winning plays.
So that's where
Okay, go ahead.
For everyone that is all over Jayden Daniels right now about how he's playing this game and what he's getting done and what it aesthetically looks like, I'm not trying to point the bugaboo out there, but I'll put the obvious out there if you think about it. We got, 2 or 3 turnovers so far on this season? Oh, I'm sorry, 4 turnovers on the season so far? 0 committed by Jayden.
He fumbled on Saturday.
Fumble. Right?
No picks.
The one fumble, but no picks, right? We keep talking about him leaving the pocket too early.
Yeah, but the fumble was like a
mesh point deal.
It was a mesh point deal.
Right.
It wasn't.
Which,
I mean, I get it, but still, it falls on him.
But not
I
a
get
true
it.
fumble. Okay,
Yeah.
so you got no picks. You got a mesh point, literally a handoff debacle. And we're sitting here talking about, he doesn't throw the ball down the field. He's not going through progressions. Well, guess what? Sunday afternoon, I sat there and watched Jameis push and try to go through progressions and try to force the ball down the field. And they lost the game simply because of that, right? He's an elite runner. As we start to get more confidence, as they start to get better up front, as he starts to trust it more, you will see him stand back there and do it. You've seen him do it later in games. It's gotten better.
And here's the other deal. Not only do I want to see him, and I think you're going to start seeing this, not just stand back there in the pocket and survey the field and use some pocket movement and kind of find the lanes to get the ball out. Like, yeah, of course, everybody wants to see that, but like, that's very hard to do, right? Like I would love to see more of that. I would also like to see a little bit more of like, hey, it breaks down. I'm going to take off. Instead of just taking off sometimes, let's like,
But
listen,
no. But
that's going to happen.
I'll just say this too, and I'm being straight up and like completely honest when I say this. If he was doing that already and showed up doing that,
yeah, right. He would, yeah.
He wouldn't be here.
No doubt. I get that.
Like you're gonna have to start, and I feel like they're doing a good job of coaching it to him and getting it into him because you're seeing him get out of those habits a little bit and start to trust it as the game goes on and he gets more comfortable.
It seems like he's extremely intelligent and very coachable.
And if he was doing all of this stuff that we want to see him do right now, he wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
He would have never made it here.
Right.
So let's get off of that nonsense right now.
He threw couple balls. Now, the one thing that we do both agree on, like, listen, the running out, moving, escaping the pocket, keeping your eyes up, getting ready to throw the football, that'll happen. He did it a couple times towards the end of the game, actually. So he threw it to, I think it was Brian Thomas underneath.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was Dre Jenkins. He was about to run, sees him, picks him up, throws him. Guy gets 10, 12 yards, right? Great. The one thing that he can control, and I think the one thing that I'm sure that they're focusing on right now in film study is, hey, when you're going to throw a lot of these 50-50 balls, whether it be a back shoulder or a ball up for grabs where you can go high point it, got to give your guys an opportunity to catch it. Can't keep throwing them out of bounds. Now, to your point before the show,
right?
You said I'd rather, if he's going to go and do that and he's not comfortable yet with that, I'd rather him throw the ball, overthrow it, than try to be perfect and underthrow and start throwing a bunch of interceptions. I agree. Let's try to find a little happy medium.
And I'll say this, and look, I haven't. It's so weird because I haven't seen either of the big games on TV, right? I happen to be at both of them, right? And I haven't gone back and watched them, and I don't know if this is or not or isn't happening. But we also don't know if these receivers that are running these go routes are actually holding those lines and giving him a place to throw them open.
Is the cornerback shove getting you to the line?
Are they riding you out of bounds and you're giving him no spot and it makes the throws look worse? Or are you actually holding the spot and he's missing the throws by this far?
Right.
Hard for me to believe there are because every time I see it, they're running on the sideline. It's not like they're running with 5 yards of cushion to the sideline. So I'm wondering if they're actually doing a good job of doing that as well, which is it's a real thing.
Right.
So we don't, and I don't know, and I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying, like, I would have to see something like that to know if that's actually happening, right?
For sure.